I wasted $9 on these 3 issues. Yeah. Uh, I'm usually a fan of Robert's writing. I mean, he's written from Green Lantern to The Flash to some Justice League and a few other comics. But what was the idea of Damage? Issue 1. Actually, you don't even have to technically read the first issue. By reading the summary, you could get the whole concept. And the summary, it sounds very similar to the Hawk. It looks like they took Bruce, and I believe the guy's name is the Red Hawk. I'm sorry, he's very forgettable. I can't remember his name. But you put those two together, and you got Ethan. Now, minus the fact that it's not really explained how he basically becomes what the Damage. Yes, that's the creature's name. Damage. Basically, he's a soldier who goes into a project. Project goes wrong. He realized they're using him as a tool of destruction when he wanted to be a superhero. But you know how the government is. They never make superheroes besides Captain America or any other hero with certain substance of drugs. But the problem here is that when you read the first issue, it's very similar to reading Hawk. You will feel very familiar with Ethan. And it's not because Ethan is a familiar person, it's because Ethan's story and the way he's based is very familiar to Bruce. And, you know, the Red Hawk. Sorry, I cannot remember his name because I really don't care about Red Hawk. But in the short in the short collection of 3 issues, he's already putting out feats out there. We're gonna get to his powers soon, but right now we're just gonna talk about like the whole plot and premise of basically the government is after Ethan. He is the one who took he took this project up. He became Damage for the government. He wanted to be a hero, but of course you get these panels showing it's not really him being a hero. It's him basically being a juggernaut of a mercenary for the United States, and he had enough of it. He escaped. Um, Clearly we're gonna get 2 damages. Now, what I mean by that is because he, this is another cliche. Uh, his friend, who's also either a friend or captain, I can't remember, is part of the same unit, and he applied to become Damage. They ain't pick him. They picked Ethan. He hated that. He came in a little mech suit. Ethan, blah blah blah, trashed him. Boom. But he got damaged, and you see him later on in the panels with like all these scars. So I'm not sure if he's gonna just get a better mech suit or they just gonna be like this. We're gonna put you for the Damage project too. Second Damage. Remember I said that it's gonna happen probably, most likely. Then we roll around of Ethan hiding, pulling Bruce, just trying to stay on the low, all creepy. And then you go, boom, issue 2. Suicide Squad. Now, as you see here, I'm a Superman fan. I like it. I like most of the enemies he has faced, and in this Suicide Squad roster, you have Grundy, Deadshot, Akundo, Harley Quinn, and Parasite. Oh, and I can't ever pronounce her name right. Gar. I'm just gonna call her Big Lady. Oh my god, I'm horrible when they put like Giga or Giant and they mix it up to make a name for the damn characters. But basically, he took down that squad quite easily, and like he's invulnerable to bullets. So Deadshot is just and like there was a few, it was okay moment, but I think just didn't tranquilize him, and he was right there, and Deadshot decided to monologue and then attack. You're Deadshot. Just shoot him with a trank somewhere and bring him in. They it was very like I was just like, what are you guys doing? Harley couldn't do nothing, of course. The the woman that could become a giant. I'm sorry, I'm horrible because I can't remember her name. And it's funny. I just read these 3 issues too, and I can't remember her name. That's how forgettable she is. You know why? All she does is hold him like this. He has an ant in the palm of her hand. He bursts through her hand, and she just drops out because she's bleeding massively. I'm like, okay. So here is the thing that gets me mad though. Parasite, a villain who went toe to toe with some heavy hitters like Superman, grabs damage, and he gets overloaded. No more than a few seconds, because in so far in this series, every time when damage is fighting, you go see this counter or a clock somewhere on the panels, showing you that he only has an hour before he reverts back to human. Cool. Problem with that is, if he has so much power, how in the world later on he just in issue 3 he basically gets manhandled a little bit. Well, not really manhandled. He has pretty almost equal ground fight with Wonder Woman. I'm like, but Parasite kind of, fought Wonder Woman before. So why Parasite couldn't, go toe to toe with Damage? And one of my friends said, well, maybe Parasite didn't absorb any powers beforehand. I'm like, okay, that could be the truth, but he touched Damage. He could have touched, let go quickly, and have some damage strength and go bang, 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 bang. But no, he goes, few seconds, and then just drops off. So, issue 2 was very irritating because it made Damage just a little part with him and Parasite. That's my son growling. That's my son. I know. He must be. Ugh. That's my baby boy. That's my baby boy. Right? You my baby boy? But that when I saw him do that to Parasite, I was like, okay, they gonna have something big for him later on. They gonna have a really good fight, and I kind of predicted that when I was reading. Yeah, eek. And when we got to the end of the issue, Wonder Woman. Now issue 3, and this is when this stuff gets good. Well, yeah, it gets a little bit good, a little bit. We get a little more information between what Waller and the girl, I think her name is Marie or Maria, who looks like a gender bend of Nick Fury without the white stripes on the side of her head. But I have a problem with this because now we see him, he bossed Suicide Squad. Pushed them out. But he goes toe-to-toe Wonder Woman. And they're rumbling back and forth. It's a good fight. It entertained me. It didn't entertain him, apparently. Did it entertain you, Lucian? He says, oh, Daddy, I don't know what you're talking about. But, yeah, in the end of it, he mollywops her. She flies. She ain't down. She gets back up to look for him, and he's gone. Because the 1 hour time limit. So, if you could keep up fighting Damage for an hour, he goes back to human, he can take him down. No, this ain't the case. He goes back to human, he disappears. I'm like, Wonder Woman, you have the habit of, like, tracking people down. But you can't track down Ethan? Come on. Now, let's get to some of his shown power sets. He has invulnerability. Bullets and melee hits barely do anything to him. Like, nothing. Stamina-wise, I believe he has superhuman stamina because he's... Come on. Well, not superhuman stamina. Let me correct that. He has enhanced stamina because he only has an hour time limit. Within the hour, he could do almost anything combat-wise, and he's good. My problem is that we don't know so much of his abilities, but yet the summary, the way the story is flowing, is making it feel like he's going to be a DC version of Hawk or a better version of Rampage. If you don't know who Rampage is, look her up. She has a similar power set of, in a sense, similar power set. I think the New 52 Rampage is more similar to Damage. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying it's a horrible read. It's not a horrible read, but you are going to feel like you're really reading a Hawk comic just a few things changed, and that's bad. You don't want to be, uh, you don't want to read a comic that you can relate it to another comic so easily. Because when I was reading through it, it was getting very predictable, very fast, and that's very bad. However, the way issue 3 ended, maybe things would pick up, maybe things would be better. But if I see more and more of his power set developing to him like a very basically a alternate version of Hawk, I don't see this series going further. And it's sad because I like the character design. He looks like a tyrant with the orbs here. So, yeah, what is up with the orbs? He has orbs here. Robert, are you planning to rate something for that? Because hey, I'm just saying, kinetic force emitting from those orbs, that would be pretty badass to see him use later on. Like kinetic energy, like he could just manifest it, make a little shield when he's rampaging, just roll, roll, roll. Just saying, think about it. Now, is it worth for a collection to buy because you might want to reread it later on? Not really. Like, I enjoyed the read, but that's because I'm a sucker for action scenes. But some of the stuff done in here was just so. I could go read Hawk. I honestly could have just picked up one of my Hawk volumes and read that. Hopefully, they change the tone of the story just a little bit, not too much, because it's already pretty much set up what's gonna happen. You know, they gotta find him, they gotta help him, and same thing like the way the Hawk was. See where that similarity comes from. But if you don't read Hawk comics because you're not a fan of his style of writing, and I guess you want to give Damage a try, go ahead. I mean, you'll see Wonder Woman, Batman, Suicide Squad. You see all your favorites in there. But I'm just saying, it needs to do a little changing to be a bit better. Wow, this video is 12 minutes long. Damn, that is crazy. But that's 3 issues in one video. So this is Nar, and I'll see you in the next review. Now, let's see where I could go here. How do I shut this off?